A lot of times we get asked, well, why do you have two different types? Our Slatex is what we call our premium system. So if you have, let's say, a basement where you have living space, something like that behind it, in most cases I would probably suggest using Slatex for those type of systems because you do have a living space or something behind there. If you're talking about just a basic freestanding retaining wall, that's a lot of times where the BG comes into play for those type of applications. Also, the Slatex system, since it does have the scratch coat that covers it, it is a great system to use for inside of planter boxes. So if you have an apartment building or something that they have planter boxes up on the second, third, fourth level, those planter boxes are notorious for leaking. This is a great system to use for that because it gives you that hard cementitious coating on the outside. So once they put the dirt in there and they have to go in there to dig, to put plants or whatever in there, if they they're hitting that hard cementitious layer and they're not hitting the membrane itself. So it's a great system to use for those type of applications. So we're going to go ahead and simulate the first coat on here. And you can see when it goes on, it's a pretty light blue color. And then the area here that's already dry is a much darker blue. And the same things apply to the Slatex system like the BG as far as your preparation goes. You're going to want to parge the wall, you're going to want to fill any cracks, you're going to want to do any of those things for your preparation ahead of time before you get to the waterproofing stage. So you can see the light blue color on the first coat, then he's going to go ahead and roll a second coat over this area that already has the first coat dry, and then from there he'll apply the scratch coat. And again with this you want to make sure you get a nice even uniform coverage. You do your up and down, the first coat, side to side, your second coat, so you make sure that everything is covered. So now he's got two coats on. This surface here already has the two coats, and from here he's going to apply the scratch coat just like he did on the foam area over the BG. And if you were doing this, like I said, in a planter box, you would be using the polyester fabric, like he said, in all of the corners. So you would hit all of the corners where the walls come together and when the floor and the wall come together. Pretty much like if you're painting a wall, you want to hit all the trim first. So you hit all of the corners, embed that polyester fabric into that first coat, let that set up a little bit, then hit the whole thing with your first coat. And now we're going to go over the Mulasticoat, the Slatex system over foam. So this again, just like the BG, is a water-based product, so you can apply it directly to the foam. It will bond directly to that foam. And if you have any gaps in there, again, you need to fill them, speed mix or the expanding foam, something to fill those joints before you go ahead and roll the product on. But our Mulasticoat is used in a lot of our systems. It's used for below-grade waterproofing. It's used for ponds and water features. It's also used for waterproofing wood decks. We use it for a lot of different applications. Whereas our BG product is just for below-grade applications. So our BG is not used on water features. It's not used for other applications like that on the decks or things like that. It's just for the below-grade applications, whereas the Mulasticoat is used in several of our systems. Now once he's got the two coats on, he's got dry two coats here, and just like here, you're going to want to go ahead and cover that with the scratch coat. And that's all the components on the Slatex system.